Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, December 11th, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with two major events presented yesterday by Ring of Honor and NXT, including a total of 6 title changes. Chief among these was the Ring of Honor World Championship, which was regained by Claudio Castagnoli in the main event of ROH Final Battle, presented live on pay-per-view from the College Park Center in Arlington, Texas.
Are you kidding me? And his legs are showing no sign of slowing down. What? New champion! New champion! He tapped! He tapped! He tapped! New champion! New champion! We got a new champion! Are you kidding me?
Who did this tap by submission? And new Ring of Honor World Champion, Claudio Castagnoli!
Unbelievable! I didn't see that! What? Wow! Unbelievable! The cloud of dishonor has been lifted!
Castagnoli got the win via submission in 17 minutes and 5 seconds when Jericho tapped out while in Claudio's giant swing. The loss ended Jericho's 8th World Championship reign at 80 days. In their third pay-per-view match with FTR this year, the Briscoes captured their record-setting 13th ROH World Tag Team Championship, defeating Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler in a bloody double dog collar match. The finish occurred when Wheeler tapped out at 22 minutes and 20 seconds on behalf of Harwood as Jay Briscoe wrapped Harwood's head in the steel chain.
And look at this around the teeth, into the mouth. Oh my goodness. The agony, the pain. Wheeler trying to desperately save Dax. Mark knows that Harwood is in a lot of trouble. He's gonna tap. He's gotta tap. Wheeler trying to push through. He's trying to get it. He's out. He's out.
Reach for the sky, boy. Who winners of this match? In the 13th-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the Briscoes!
The loss ended FTR's run with the ROH tag belts at 253 days. They remain the IWGP and AAA tag team champions. They first took the ROH title from the Briscoes last April at ROH Supercard of Honor. The Briscoes won their first ROH tag team title in 2003. In other title changes, Athena beat Mercedes Martinez to win her first ROH Women's World title, pinning her in 13 minutes and 6 seconds. Wheeler Yuta regained the ROH Pure Championship from Daniel Garcia, defeating him via referee stoppage in 14 minutes and 52 seconds, and the Embassy trio of Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona defeated Dalton Castle and his boys to win the ROH 6-man tag team title in 10 minutes and 2 seconds. Samoa Joe was the only champion to hold on to his gold at Final Battle, pinning Juice Robinson in 13 minutes and 37 seconds to retain the ROH World TV Championship in his 5th defense of the title. In other results, Swerve in Our Glory defeated JD Griffey and Shane Taylor when Keith Lee pinned Griffey after being abandoned in the ring by his own partner Swerve Strickland, and AR Fox and Blake Christian beat Dolistico and Roosh in the opener. During the press conference following Final Battle, Tony Khan addressed the future of Ring of Honor on television, indicating that upcoming weekly Ring of Honor TV would be found on the Honor Club streaming app.
It has all of great library of Ring of Honor content, including the 2 pay-per-views we've done this year. And my plan is to keep the pay-per-views out 90 days. So 90 days from now in mid-March, you'd get this pay-per-view on there, but it's actually operational and it is $9.99. The TV is going to live there. There's going to be big participation from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I feel like pretty confident I can say based on our relationship, and they want to be involved. And you saw tonight some great wrestlers from New Japan, and also some of our wrestlers have been going there. So I think you could see wrestlers from Ring of Honor going to New Japan. And also, so the TV on the Honor Club, I'll announce when it's going to start, but I think it makes a lot of sense for us, given that I want New Japan to be focused on it and involved.
Now with a look at NXT Deadline, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
Last evening, NXT Deadline streamed live on Peacock and the WWE Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In the main event, Bron Breakker successfully defended the NXT Championship against Apollo Crews, pinning him in 14 minutes and 33 seconds to continue his second reign as title holder. This was Breakker's 10th defense of the title since regaining it from Dolph Ziggler last April. Breakker was attacked after the match by Grayson Waller, who earlier in the evening had won the inaugural Iron Survivor Challenge match to earn a shot at the NXT Championship on the January 10th New Year's Evil episode of NXT. Waller won the 5-man match with 3 falls, surpassing other participants JD McDonough, Axiom, Joe Gacy, and Carmelo Hayes. He scored 1 pinfall on McDonough and 2 on Axiom, including the deciding fall. Axiom, Gacy, and Hayes each scored 2 decisions apiece, while McDonough scored none. In the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match that opened the show, Roxanne Perez emerged victorious over Indy Hartwell, Cora Jade, Zoe Stark, and Kiana James, with 2 falls, pinning Stark and then Jade in the deciding fall.
Oh, man. Behind Stark might have just knocked out Perez and Stark now. Could be looking for her second fall on Perez. If she can connect, Perez goes up, goes over, goes around, shoulders down. Hartwell couldn't break the count.
Stark, Jade, and Hartwell each got 1 fall apiece, while James got none. Perez will also challenge for the NXT Women's Championship on the January 10th episode of NXT. The New Day captured the 9th tag team title in the group's 8-year history, with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston beating Pretty Deadly to win the NXT Tag Team Championship in 14 minutes and 6 seconds. The win marks New Day's first NXT Tag Team title, and makes them only the second team to win WWE's Raw, SmackDown, and NXT Tag Team titles, after FTR, known in WWE as The Revival. Also on the show, Alba Fire defeated Isla Dawn. In the post-deadline media call, Shawn Michaels congratulated NXT champion Bron Breakker on retaining his title, and spoke to the Wrestling News about Breakker's readiness for the main roster and the plans to eventually call him up.
Look, everybody sees that he's special. He's obviously the horse we're riding here in NXT. But again, I guess I'll always say this. Braun is always going to be on that list because everybody sees so much potential in him. He's just one, I guess, that I look at and again, that I say that we'd love to be able to keep him here just for a little bit longer so we could just really round him out. I feel like he could go up there and do things here and there on the main roster, but if continue to let us keep him here and help him, along. And I guess because I feel like we have some other people that I guess maybe you could insert right in and I don't know, not feel like you had to worry one way or another. And again, not that you have to do with Braun. He's going to step up to any challenge, but he's just, look, I guess selfishly, I'd like to be able to keep him here and really round him out as perfectly as we can when we have that opportunity. And I guess I don't see the rush. I don't ever want to keep him from any opportunities, and I'd never do that. But again, if we have the option to keep him and make him a more well-rounded performer for the main roster, I'd love to be able to have the time to do that. But I hope that, I never want to give the impression that Braun's not a guy that we would, be thrilled to have on the main roster, because he obviously is. I would just like to I'd like to wrap him up nicely in a bow and deliver him to them, you know what I mean? Perfectly ready to go.
For the Wrestling News, I'm Lou Kipilman.
In ratings news and overnight results posted to Spoiler TV, Friday Night SmackDown drew a viewership of 2.098 million viewers with a 0.5 rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic. Those numbers are back up to SmackDown's typical audience range, with the show back live on Fox after being moved the previous week to FS1 due to the Pac-12 College Football Championship game. The FS1 episode from December 2nd drew just 902,000 viewers with a 0.25 key demo rating. Full ratings numbers for last Friday's SmackDown are expected early this week. With a look at ticket sales, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
Looking at last week's live attendance figures for Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite and Rampage tapings, it was WWE's Raw at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. that led for the week, drawing 8,077 fans. It was the lowest recorded attendance of the 24 Raw tapings that have occurred in the building starting in 1999, according to WrestlingData.com. The highest was a March 2001 episode in the lead-up to WrestleMania 17, which drew 14,620. WWE SmackDown drew 6,968 fans to the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, making it the lowest-attended WWE televised event for which records are available in the 12 years the company has presented shows in that building. AEW Dynamite and Rampage at the H-E-B Center in Cedar Park, Texas, came in last for the week, drawing 3,157 fans. This was the lowest attendance out of the 4 times that AEW has run the building. For the wrestling news, I'm Lou Kipilman.
Turning to Mexico, CMLL ran their weekly show Friday night at Arena Mexico and held 2 tournaments to celebrate 200 years of bilateral relations between Mexico and the United States. The oldest continuously operating promotion in the world will often run gimmick tournaments, and Friday's Copa Bicentenario brought in 4 men and 4 women from America to team with CMLL regulars. Místico teamed with New Japan's Rocky Romero to defeat Volador Jr. and Lince Dorado to win the men's side, while the women's tournament was won by Dallas and Lady Frost, who defeated La Jarachita and Ivelisse. Taking a look at some of the highlights from around a busy weekend in Japan, both finals for New Japan Pro Wrestling's 2 tag team tournaments are now set. At today's show in Himeji Arena in Hyogo, Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto defeated Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, while Aussie Open defeated Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale via forfeit. Both winning teams finished the World Tag League with 14 points, and now the victorious pairs will face off this coming Wednesday, December 14th, at the Sendai Sun Plaza to decide who will challenge FTR for the IWGP World Tag Team Championship during Wrestle Kingdom 17 at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. During Saturday's card at the Uwajima City General Gymnasium, Yo and Leo Rush defeated Bushi and Titan, while Impact Wrestling's Ace Austin and Chris Bay knocked off IWGP World Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions TJP and Francesco Akira. Both winning teams finished the Junior Heavyweight Tag League with 14 points, and as a result, Yo and Rush will now face off against Austin and Bay on Wednesday, with the winners advancing to the Tokyo Dome on January 4th for a title shot against TJP and Akira. As we went to air today, we still don't have the results from Dragon Gate, Stardom, 01, Big Japan, Ice Ribbon, and other promotions in Japan. We'll have any relevant results coming up on Monday's episode of the show. In major results from around the country on Saturday, DDT's celebration of Jun Akiyama's 3 decades in professional wrestling continued inside Osaka's Izumi City Plaza, where Akiyama teamed with Tetsuya Endo and Sanshiro Takagi in a losing effort against Zeus, the Bodyguard, and Ryoji Sai when Zeus pinned Takagi. Over in Tokyo Joshi Pro, Miyu Yamashita made the second defense of the UK-based Pro Wrestling Eve title by defeating Riho via head kick at the Hamamatsu City and Tetsu Hall. And finally, the Glade promotion announced matches for their upcoming show on December 20th, including participation from 2 New Japan regulars. Sonata and Bushi of Los Ingobernables will make their debut for the company in a tag team match against T-Hawk and Kaz Hayashi. In the main event of the show, which will be held at the Tokyo Dome City Hall, El Lindemann will defend the G-Rex Championship against Kaito Ishida. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.